Lecture 4, PowerPoint and Google Slides Essentials. So we've kind of talked about more theoretical things so far. Starting with this lecture, we're going to get more practical. So we're going to go through some options, some capabilities within PowerPoint and Google Slides to see what we can use to help us ensure that we're being clear and organized through all of our visual communication. And so here, the goal is not perfection, it's consistency and clarity, and your skills with all of these different tools will continue to evolve over time. And these tools will continue to evolve over time. So things might change in the future, but this is to kind of give you insight into what is best practice and what are the capabilities right now. So we're in Module 2 now. We have a new set of learning objectives. And in this lecture, we're going to be looking at understanding core tools in PowerPoint and Google Slides. So some of this may be information that you're already familiar with, and that's great. This will just be reinforcement. Some of it might be new to you, or you might be more used to working in slides and not PowerPoint. So we're going to just give you insight into both of these. A pretty high-level overview. I will be linking to a lot of additional resources that will help you get into more of the specifics with these. So in general, PowerPoint is ideal for professional situations. It helps with more advanced design tools and has just a much more feature-rich experience, whereas Google Slides is kind of the bare bones, the basic requirements that you need to have a good presentation, but it is really great for collaboration. So if that's what you're looking for, if you're working on a group project, maybe then Google Slides might be the answer, even though PowerPoint has more capabilities. Both of them are great. They can both support you in crafting a message. They can help you in getting anything across to your audience. So this is what a slide looks like in PowerPoint. I have a Mac, so it might look a little bit different on a PC. Essentially, you can open a new slide. It'll start out with this kind of basic template for a title page. You can see here there's a bunch of different options for themes that you can select from. Google Slides looks very similar, right? Same kind of title, subtitle format. You can see the thumbnails of all of your slides on the left side. You can see potential templates to choose from on the right. So these boxes here that we see, click to add titles, add subtitle, that's kind of your default layout. And so they are essential to crafting a cohesive message. And so they will ensure that you have the consistent spacing across, that you have predictable alignment, that you do have a readable hierarchy. So you can see like the title is a little bit bigger than the subtitle. So again, that's showing you the title is most important. The subtitle gives important context. These layouts will basically be the underpinning for anything that looks professional. We will get into how you can create your own layout. So maybe that traditional one, you don't like that style, it's too boring, it's not communicating your message appropriately. There's ways for you to go in and create your own that you can use repeatedly in different contexts with master slides. And so we will get into that more later. If you were just to have a completely blank screen and just add in text boxes as you need it, it would get crazy very quickly. So like I said, slide masters. If you're updating things slide by slide, one after the other, so the font size, the font color, that's just way more work than you need to do. You can use these slide masters. They will let you change fonts, define different color palettes, establish your sizing for your headings and your subheadings and even your body text, and control your placement. And so editing the master will save the time because you only have to do it that one time. You don't have to do it repeatedly. So if you had a 30 slide presentation and decided, actually, I think maybe there's not high enough contrast here, going back through all 30 of them could take hours. If you just go through the master, it takes seconds. And so this is where you can access the slides on PowerPoint. It'll be under the view category in your ribbon at the top and slide master, and then you'll be able to see all of the different layouts and you can edit them as you like. So here I have another example with the different formats. And so with this, you can click through and in the thumbnails, you'll see any of those edits change. So maybe you wanted to change the background color across all of them, change it in the first slide and it will kind of go for all the rest. Google Slides, you would access it through Theme Builder. And so this is a little bit different than in PowerPoint. It isn't always as capable. PowerPoint just can do more in general. Google Slides, the themes can do a good job at editing it here. So with this, you can see I went from that master that was just kind of black and white, made the change to highlight the title in yellow. You would never do this. This is horrible. The contrast here is atrocious. Nobody could read this. But it demonstrates how it would change the overall formatting, right? So another formatting piece that we have within PowerPoint and Google Slides is your grids and your guides. And so you probably see that sometime in documents when you're like moving things around, and you'll see some lines pop up on the screen and you can kind of like see where the center is. The guides will be really great for that. Grids will actually like give you like graph paper, even spacing across the whole thing. Guides will tell you where the center points are, and they will help just to kind of keep that order. So it will help with your alignment, make everything feel really consistent. And as you're flipping through slides, you know, we can see where the placement is. Like your mind catches that these headings are in the same place, right? If they were different, you would notice it. And so sometimes it kind of can be distracting. So if you use those guides, the grids, it'll help make sure everything is consistent and clear. And so this is how you would access them in both PowerPoint and Google Slides. Pretty similar view, guides, and then you can turn them on, turn them off, use them as you need. And this is what they actually look like here. So I have guides, which right here is like the cross in the center. They're a little bit thicker in the lines. And then grid is just in each of those individual boxes. As you can see with this has the title box centered on the page through the use of the guides. So essentially, they're great to have. They can be distracting when you're working. The grid in particular, I don't really ever leave the grid on constantly. I will turn it on to see, just to kind of get a feel for the overall, and then turn it off again, because for me, all of those lines will distract me from the overall picture. So you might turn them on, turn them off as you go. You might prefer to just have them on all the time. Definitely helps with structure. If your brain processes things with that there, great, use them. So this was a really brief intro to just kind of the overall possibilities within PowerPoint and Slides. A lot of it, I'm sure, here was just information you already knew. Hopefully there was something new that you've learned today, though. So we know that templates can be great, but you need to make sure that they work for your actual purposes. So you can choose a template and then go into the master and edit it to make it actually fit your needs. And so this is a great way to kind of have something that maybe you think is very visually appealing, but still go in and make those tweaks to ensure that you're following accessibility guidelines and whatever kind of formatting guidelines the organization you're working for, creating that presentation for, might have. So just because a template is there does not mean that it's meeting any sort of accessibility guideline, right? So don't just take for granted that Microsoft has done everything properly, because that is not the case. And a lot of times the templates you can have are not even templates that are like official, right? Templates that somebody just created and put on the internet you can access. And so those are not always going to be demonstrating best practice. So they're great, but use them with caution and edit them to fit your needs.